Hi, I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. Tonight I have with me 3 guests, all from different areas dealing with animals. You work together, but you're separate. We'll have to figure that out. So next to me here is Henning Schreiber.
Nice to meet you, yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, that's good enough for me.
Very good, okay. And he is you're the Animal Services Manager.
Correct.
And we have Debbie Beaufort from Focus.
Correct.
Focus. F-O-C-A-S.
Yeah, Friends of Calaveras Animal Services.
Okay, awesome. And next to Deb is Ann Ellis from the Humane Society.
Correct. Yep.
Good, very good. Now I'm hoping that sometime during this show we can make Debbie laugh because she snorts. And it's super cute.
Getting there already?
Oh, you guys. So, okay, let's start at this end with Henning. Tell me what you do, what makes you different from the others.
Well, the main difference is that Animal Services is a government function.
Government function,
so we're part of the county government and paid by the county government. And we do have essentially 2 branches that we're responsible for. The first is the shelter operation, where we have animals that we take care of, every animal that is stray that we take in.
Okay.
And the other part is more the enforcement part, is animal control, where we have officers going out and they have every now and then give a citation when people don't vaccinate their animal, or if they don't take care of their dogs and let run it loose and things like that. So that are our essential big areas where we are active.
Are you also the group that gets called, say, if there's a dead animal on the road?
Actually, we do get the calls, but we do not pick it up. That would be the road department that is doing that here in our county. It is a little bit different from county to county. Other counties, it is animal control or animal services that is doing it.
Okay.
In our county, it is the road crew.
Okay. Well, that'd be a hard job, too.
It is, yeah.
Real quick, you mentioned that you give citations if animals are not vaccinated?
Yes, it is a law for I don't know how many decades that you have to have your animal vaccinated against rabies. And that is one big issue, and I think most people are not taking it serious anymore. In the early decades of the last century, we had many deaths from rabies. It is a viral infection that is 99% transmitted through dog bites. And once you're infected and you don't do anything in time, it is also mostly lethal. So you will die from it.
See, I think most people probably, I haven't heard of rabies in so long. You just kind of think it's not an issue anymore.
Yeah, I think it is because the fact that they had made it mandatory to have dogs vaccinated, and they follow up with licensing. So we only license dogs when they're vaccinated, so that we have some sort of control that people do what they're supposed to do, so that neither they nor the public is in danger from being infected.
Is there a way to tell if an animal had been vaccinated? Like, if you ask the owner and they say, oh, yeah, I had them vaccinated.
Well, all veterinarians keep a record, and they do send us a copy of the vaccination as well. So we do have a record then if the animal is vaccinated. And if there's no record, then we, for safety reasons, assume that it was not vaccinated.
Right. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Now, let's move on to Deb. Focus. Friends of Calaveras Animal Services.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, we're fairly new. We've been around about a year now. We became a 501c3 at the behest of Animal Services, and we only do shelter stuff. We only take care of shelter animals and shelter activities. We don't go out to the private sector like the Humane Society does.
Okay.
So we're strictly shelter. And the first thing we did was went to Hazel Fisher School and got 2 modulars and moved them down here and made a cat house. And it was the first time in the history of Calaveras County that the cats and the dogs were separated.
Oh, how nice.
And so it's much nicer for both the cats and the dogs these days.
Yeah. And so that's where you, we were talking before the show that during the fire, my daughter and I went to Animal Services area, and we walked a few dogs, but I wanted to get inside because of my asthma. The air was horrible. And so we went and we helped at the kitty area. Mm-hmm. Those were those new
the
modulars.
2 modulars, yes.
Those are nice.
Yep, we did it all with volunteer help.
Wow, that's awesome.
Volunteers painted all those colors, put up the walls, put up the sheetrock.
Oh, and the cats seem so happy and comfortable in
there.
there.
Much
with
happier.
Those things that can climb on, all kinds of fun stuff.
Cat trees.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, there's a place, it's a meet and greet room. It's the first time in the history of the county that's happened.
Nice.
So,
and we do have a chance now to have cats in communal rooms, so they're not locked up individually.
Yeah.
So now they can have their playmates, and it shows already that they lose the stress. It goes down.
Right.
We have less problems with diseases due to stress.
Yeah.
And so it is quite a success on that part.
I believe it. When we went there, when I had said to somebody else that we were going to go in and help with the cats, and they were thinking their cats are going to be freaked out and scratching and hissing and everything, they all seemed to get along really well.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Most of them do.
It was nice.
The kitten season's coming up, so this will be the first year we've had this facility for kitten season. So
perfect.
Yep. Well, we hope.
How many cats can you keep in there at a time? The rooms are pretty big, the spaces.
Yeah, there's two larger size for cats, and then there are 2 smaller ones for kittens.
Okay.
But we don't know yet how many we can have.
Oh, you'll find out soon.
We will any moment now, actually, because kitten season is upon us.
It is upon us, yes.
So you guys do adoptions and things like that out of your place, and you would too.
We just support them.
Okay.
We do things like the county doesn't do because.
County red tape,
yes.
let's say.
Yeah. Okay.
Or budget restrictions.
Yes, both of those things.
Or he just doesn't feel like doing it and says, "Oh, we're not allowed to do this anymore. Can you do this?"
No, the county has not supported animal services as they do other departments in the county. It's like the redheaded stepchild, so to speak. And
that's so sad.
Private sector has stepped in to do what the county doesn't do. Yeah. So, like, we just put we put screen doors on all the doors at Animal Services in the dog section and the cat section. The county wouldn't spend the money and doesn't have it.
Really?
Well, they don't.
That's too bad. Animals are so loved. It seems to me more in our county than other places. We have those Facebook pages and things. People go crazy for them. An animal's missing, an animal's found, whatever. Yep. They're shared so many times.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Board of Supervisors needs to put more money into animal services. They're totally understaffed.
We have
115 volunteers.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
If they didn't exist, they couldn't run the shelter.
Yeah. We would not be able to function without them.
That's incredible.
They provide at least 6 full-time staff.
Wow. But see, that shows me, we have, at hospice, we have volunteers, and it's hard to keep volunteers. There are so many opportunities for them, places they can go. For you guys to have that many and to keep them for that long, that sort of commitment, that's incredible. You guys are doing something right. That's really neat.
So.
It's the animals.
The animals, That's really neat.
It's a fun thing, though.
Yeah, it is.
We even have snowbirds that live, like, down in Arizona a part of the year, and then they come back up to Calaveras County, which is their home.
Nice.
Then they come back and work.
Yeah.
It's way cool.
That's awesome. Good job. Good job. Okay, so, Ann, Humane Society.
Yep.
Okay, how is this working?
We don't have a shelter of our own.
Okay.
So we support the Animal Services shelter by getting as many animals as possible out to our foster homes. All of our animals are fostered in private homes. And we have some people who do just bottle babies, meaning if they have kittens that are found motherless or abandoned, they raise the bottle babies. And then some people will take a pregnant female kitten or cat and then let her have her kittens, and then get them all adopted out.
Oh my goodness.
Some of us do adult cats. We have a few dog fosters, not as big a dog foster program because it's a little bit harder. Most people have their own dog, so you have to fit the dog in with your own. And also the shelter and working with Focus and the Humane Society, we do a very, very good job getting dogs adopted and also getting them out to other private rescues.
Okay.
So they've really reduced the euthanasia rate at our county, particularly with dog
Oh,
population.
thank goodness.
And
Wow.
then we do have a puppy foster program for the puppies that are too young to be at the shelter, and then once they're old enough, they usually go through the shelter for adoption.
What are the rules for the euthanasia program? If
That would be something to ask Henning about that.
Okay, so it depends on how long an animal has been there or what kind of shape they're in?
It differs a little bit between cats and dogs because of the amount of animals we get in and the possibilities to find homes.
Okay.
On the dog side, it is pretty bright. We do get about 700 to 800 dogs every year, and we can...
Just in Calaveras?
Just in Calaveras, just for our shelter here. And we do have the chance to bring probably about a third back to their owners. And we have, apart from the Humane Society, probably about 20 or 30 other rescues that we work with. They come now on a regular basis to pick up animals and to find homes outside of our county.
Okay.
So essentially, for the dogs, we only have to put down those dogs that do have medical issues or are old and fragile or have behavioral issues. If a dog has a bite history, really nobody wants that dog at home.
Right. Aw.
On cats, it's a little bit different because we have still a big problem with feral cats that produce a lot. Right, we talked about that just before when the season now starts. So there, it's less easy to find a home, especially later in the season. In the beginning, it's fine. Everybody takes the neighbor's kittens, and then we fill up, and then the rescues fill up, and then we do have sometimes to euthanize because we don't find a home for animals. So there is no set rule when something happens. We try the best that we can, but if we just don't find a place for an animal, especially with the cats, not so much with dogs, then we have to make that hard decision.
Oh, that would be... I might be the only person who ever wonders this, but... So they're given a shot to go to sleep, right? And then what happens to them? Are they buried or cremated?
That is not the nice pictures, but we bring them to the landfill.
Oh, okay.
Other counties do have cremations, but we don't have any facility here in the county or in the close by.
We
So
should.
that is...
Maybe someone should start that sort of business here.
Yeah, it is.
would be nicer.
There is a chance for a business because it's not only us. It's a lot of people that lose their beloved pet that want to cremate and then maybe even keep the ashes.
Yeah. That's... think about that, people. I think that would be a nice and honorable business for somebody. That's
It is, yes.
Yeah. It's so hard when people lose their pets, to lose them or lose them to death. It's so hard. They are part of the family.
It is, and that makes the job for all of us both very rewarding when we're successful and very painful when we're not.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what our we have hospice bereavement groups here over at the senior center, and you would not believe how many times it is brought up. Someone has lost a person in their family, which is what brings them there, that they're grieving, and not that they haven't dealt with it or touched it too deeply, but when they have a family member and then a pet die, it's huge. It is so huge, and it's like that pet death really touches them into a place where they start to let it out. They can't hold it anymore. Yeah,
Very difficult.
Do you guys have bereavement groups for people who lose their pets?
No.
No, we adopt them another pet. That's the best medicine is to get another pet.
Is it really, or are you just saying that?
No,
It really is.
Okay.
And actually, there was an article in a little saying in one of our newsletters one year, and I clipped it out and put it on my refrigerator, and it said, "From a shelter pet, I can't write a will, but if I can, what I would do, I would give to the next shelter pet the loving home that loved me, the warm bed, the soft arms that cuddled me, and the hand that stroked my head. And it's true, when that dog's gone, go and save another dog, when that cat's, because there are many people, unfortunately, with our economy who have to move away and they can't take their pet with them.
Right.
And they found now they've lost their home, they have to rent.
Yeah.
And it happened also after the Butte fire. There were people who were displaced and they weren't able to keep their pets. And those pets have been loving pets for years, and they deserve and need a good home, just like the kittens and the cuddly puppies. So that's something for people to consider.
Seriously going to do that to these people that come to our bereavement groups and are grieving the death of a pet in addition to their person?
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, that's
Seriously,
a good idea.
pets are wonderful. I mean, it's a proven fact.
Okay.
They help as people age. They help us. I mean, I'm the oldest in this group, and I can assure you, my pets keep me healthy.
Right.
Because they keep you busy, and they love you no matter what. You don't fight with your pets like you do your perhaps spouse or significant other or whatever, but it's not the same.
No. And they don't even seem to notice when you come out of the bedroom in the morning and the hair is like this tall, you have no makeup on.
They don't care. No. We did the Irish Days the other day, and we wore
Green
ears.
hats.
Oh, cute.
We had little ears on at our booth, and when I got home, my animals, they didn't know, but my husband didn't either. No, your animals don't care. They love you no matter what.
That's neat.
Yeah. We started a program last year with Common Ground Services on their Meals on Wheels program, and she had done a survey for her clients, and she found out that 60% of the clients that they have in Calaveras County had pets, had either a cat or a dog, and they did ask for some food assistance for their pet. Because some of them their income is so low, they were actually sharing their Meals on Wheels meals with their pets.
Were they able to get the
help
so
we started a program where people can donate food, and then we direct it directly to the Meals on Wheels, and the volunteers take it out. So that's just another area where the Humane Society can reach out, because we're all private. We're not a government agency. We don't receive any government funds. It's all private donations. So we don't have those strings attached that sometimes the government agencies have with what they can spend their funds on.
Well, I remember probably reading it on Facebook, who knows, but that after the fire, during the fire and after that there were a lot of donations of food for the animals. Do you still have a lot of that, or is that gone now?
No, it's not gone.
Okay.
Actually, all the cat food has been given out through the food banks, and we do still have some dog food there, and we're funneling it up. I've been taking it up almost every week to the Mountain Ranch Resource Center, to their food bank, and they're handing it out. In fact, we have volunteers who are going weekly to help hand it out and make sure people don't need any vet assistance for their animals also.
And some of it's going up to West Point and Glencoe also.
Very good.
The places that were very, very badly hit.
Yeah,
but I laughed about that because I thought, people think that dogs eat a lot of food when they're in stress, I guess.
I do.
We do. A lot of cookies.
It was phenomenal. You said you were at the shelter. The amount of food and everything that came in, the outpouring of love and affection and support was phenomenal. It really made you proud to be in Calaveras County, I had to say.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, a lot of it came from out of the county, but
we had a lady who sent us a check. She's from North Carolina, and she saw it on the news. And she said, just thank you for taking care of the animals.
Such neat people in the world. I love that kind of thing. Now, what sort of people can and should not adopt or foster animals for you? Do you do background? Oh, not background checks, but well, how do you check them out?
Actually, everybody that volunteers at the shelter must go through a background check. A real background check.
Because they're actually county volunteers. Anyone who volunteers at the shelter is actually a county volunteer.
Okay.
And we want to screen out people that have drug issues, because we do have drugs in our shelter. We do want to screen out those that are not appropriately behaved towards pets or people.
Yeah. And people who fight animals and things like that.
Yes, but it's a proven fact, too, that people that abuse animals abuse humans and vice versa. So if they have a history of domestic violence, we don't want them there, because the chances are they would act out badly towards the animals since they act out badly
Sure.
towards humans.
Oh, for sure.
So it's a very valid thing.
Okay. I remember when we went out to the shelter and did the show on location, and you had some tests.
Ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. You had some tests that you did to test the dogs to see where they would best fit also. You guys still do that?
Yep.
That was really neat.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now.
Oh.
And we do have a certified dog trainer who volunteers now for us.
Oh, nice.
Who took it under his, wings to educate, to train, and to have a very thorough test for the behavior.
Okay.
Always we have to keep in mind that this is just a moment in time and we just see the dog as it behaves then and there. But at least it gives us some idea of how the dog behaves, how the dog would be most appropriately kept. If it is a dog that just needs a lot of running and is not something for someone who just wants a lap dog.
Right.
And vice versa as well.
Yeah.
So
good.
that helps a lot, and I cannot say how glad I am to have all those volunteers and doing such crucial work like evaluating dogs. That is one of the biggest issues that we have to solve, that we find the right home for the right dog and do not put dogs in the wrong home, because the outcome it can be ugly. But even if it doesn't work out, it's a problem because the dog starts to bond with that new family, then things fall apart.
Right.
The best that can happen is that family comes back and gives the dog back to us. The worst that can happen is that the dog is just put in the backyard and forgotten.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's a very responsible job to do so that we can can make the right match.
So what do you guys require of your volunteers? Do they have to commit to classes to learn these sorts of things so they can help train the dogs and know what to look for? Is it a certain number of hours they commit to each week? How does that work?
We do not have a set number of hours. Obviously, we'd like to see a sort of a commitment so that the time that we spend with a volunteer for the initial training, that it's worthwhile. We don't want to have someone who says, well, I just want to try it out a day or two.
Yeah.
That's not helping us.
Right.
But we do provide the initial training so that they know about the main, do's and don'ts within the shelter facility. And then since we do have Rich, the dog trainer, we do have training how to appropriately walk dogs, what to do if something doesn't work out right. And we do have him as well training the volunteers that do the evaluation so that we can make the best effort to find out how the dog is.
Very good.
Yeah, some people come one day a week for just a couple hours. Some people come every day, a couple times a day. We need people.
Okay.
Morning and night. We need them from the time they open in the morning at
365 days a year.
Exactly.
It's not in the animals. Yep.
It's a 7-day-a-week thing. It's one of the I believe, other than the sheriff's department, it's the only department in the county that's open 7 days a week. Not open to the public. They're they're closed Sunday and Monday to the public. But those dogs and cats are there.
Need to be fed, need to be cleaned, need to be walked.
Right.
Need to be loved and cuddled and socialized.
Rain and shine.
Yep. Yes, rain or shine.
Yeah.
No, seriously, we're out there, rain or shine.
Now, when someone agrees to be a foster parent, what does that commitment look like?
Well, as far as the dog program, which Debbie used to be the head of our dog program, they would go out and evaluate the home. They'd have to have a fenced yard. Their other dogs would have to be dog friendly if they had and be able to be adapted to that. Cats, it's a little easier because normally, especially if they have kittens, you can put them in a room, or when they're small, you can put them in a cage, and that gets them socialized to the whole house. So you can separate them if need be from your other cat population. But I have actually been an adult cat foster, and you need to know that you may have that cat for a few weeks, a couple months. I had one foster for over a year. Oh. She just didn't find the right home, and she did eventually. And I actually had decided if she didn't get adopted in the next few months, then she would just stay with me, because she was a bit of an old lady, and she was very scared when she first came in, and she had settled in. And the few times she got adopted out, it just didn't work because the stress was too hard on her. And the next family that came, it was perfect, and she fit in perfectly with them.
Good.
And they had children, and I thought this was not going to work. And they loved her till she passed away last year.
Oh,
and
how sweet.
But I had her for over a year. So you have to be really willing to commit that animal may stay with you for a long time.
How many animals do the fosters take in at a time when they're adults?
Mostly 1 or 2 at a time, because
Okay.
most of us have our own cats.
Okay.
My cat, I have 2 cats who, for whatever reason, are very flexible, and they just tolerate a new one coming into their territory.
Yeah.
Cats are very territorial, and they're not pack animals like dogs, so it's a lot harder to introduce new ones. But what you do normally is you have a room. I have a room with a screen door, so they can slowly get used to each other, and
good
there are
idea.
ways to introduce them. The kittens, they can mix up. Cindy can mix up the litters. She'll take them from one litter to another and swap them around. The bottle-fed babies, sometimes will have as many as 10 kittens, and that's every 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Those people are saints.
That's got to be your job.
Those people are saints.
It's true.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, that's so neat.
And then the kitten fosters, once they're weaned, they may have 4, 5, 6, and they just kind of drop them around and mix them up.
So you said, so with this family that came to get that cat that you have, when you're fostering an animal, do you allow people to come to your house to see the animal, or do you go to the shelter, bring the animal each time?
No, actually what we have now, the Humane Society has 2 thrift stores, one in Arnold and one in Angels Camp.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Which are places where we make income for the animals to support our programs.
Yeah.
But in each one we put in a cat adoption center. So we have a room with 4 or 5 cages, large cages, and the cats come there. We rotate through, and the
Okay.
cats come there for 3 days. So we're open with cats from Thursday through Saturday, and we have volunteers who sit in there all day long, and they've been trained on how to take care of the cats and also how to do our adoption process. We have an application and to screen people. And we do the same thing. We try to find out, we put the cat in the best home possible. And then if they have any questions, they can always defer to the foster. The foster has the final say-so if they think it's going to be a good home or not.
Okay.
But that's worked out really well because people can get to meet the cats, and it's a relatively social situation.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the foster if they're comfortable having people come to their home or not.
Okay.
But the adoption centers have been great. We used to sit out tables and put the cages on tables outside. And that's very stressful on the cats and the volunteers.
Right,
But,
yeah, I would think so.
So this has been great. We
neat.
adopt out about 300 cats a year.
Golly.
Mostly through either our website or through the adoption centers. But as I said, we get 90% of our cats come directly from the shelter. We don't take very many from the public other than the small kittens that wouldn't have a chance at the shelter.
Okay.
Because we really want to support the shelter and also move that population through, so the cats that have been there longest are the ones that get moved through the program. So, we try to work together.
And we want to encourage everybody to spay and neuter their dogs and cats.
Yes.
That's the
Biggest.
most important thing. We wouldn't have all these stray dogs and cats if people would.
I would
spay.
love to put us out of business.
Yes.
I really, truly
we all
would.
would. That would be our goal.
Really
Seriously.
would, yeah.
That's so cool. We're almost out of time. You mentioned spay and neuter. Do you guys do any coupon or discount things for
The Humane Society
Humane
does
Society.
offer a voucher,
Okay.
which pays a portion of the spaying or neutering. So
Okay.
they can
So
call our
give you a
office
call.
or they can go online, and then they can use any vet that accepts it. So we don't require it to go to any vet. It's just, and
Very
the
good.
voucher goes to the vet, and the vet, we reimburse the vet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm so glad you were here.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you
Wow.
for having us
Yeah,
here.
come and visit.
You
come
work
and
like
do a
a-
live thing. It would be fun.
That would be cool.
for people to see the shelter.
That
If you
would be
could
cool.
do some.
You guys work so well together.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's all about the
I think we
animals.
do.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras.